Jobs and Family Services.
Almost done.
Sue. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not bad.
Good.
Busy like usual. All right, what you want first? The transfer or the just donations?
Anything in the order that they're.
Yeah, the resolutions in the order.
I was gonna say,
I'll read them. I'll read them.
Let's
Yeah,
make
okay.
sure we get to the agenda.
Okay, the first one is the Board of Commissioners accepts the cash donation for Portage County Jobs JFS employees for caramel apples to support Employment Enhancement Committee activities.
Okay, yep, that's just our employee enhancement donation fund where we had the Caramel Apple Day. The money went into the account on November 19th, but Kelly Jo said she's sorry she missed these resolutions. so it's catching up on the resolution end of it.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners accepts the cash donation from Portage JFS employees at an Employee Enhancement Committee lunch diversity education event.
Same thing, $48.95 was paid in on September 25th.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners accepts the cash donations from Thomas Hall Book Sales for books purchased by Portage JFS employees at an Employee Enhancement Committee sponsored book fair.
Same way, $91.58 was paid in November 18th from our book sale. We get partial. We have the book fair here for sort of like they do in the elementary schools, and then we get part of the money back for us.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last one we have to do is the Board of Commissioners agrees to transfer $30,404.48 from Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
So that's just the monthly mandated share that you mandated to pay for the public assistance fund.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sue.
Appreciate it.
All right, Todd. Most people aren't so anxious to see it.
I tell you guys. Nobody gets it.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
On the bill run, nothing out of the ordinary, $639,000. There was $120 in late fees, which is maybe a little higher than we usually have, partly because Amazon hit us with our January late fees from the January invoices that we just had trouble paying on time because of the end of the year. So that's really not out of the ordinary there. On the health benefit wires, nothing out of the ordinary there. For the dental plan, we do have a budget amendment to begin paying those invoices. That is in the later budget amendment, and the journal vouchers are all in line. Then and nows are right where they've been the last few weeks in terms of, again, probably more than we'd like to see, but nothing questionable happening within there.
Okay. All right, the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, March 5th, 2020 bills, ACH payments as presented by the County Auditor and reviewed by the Board of Commissioners, Department of Budget and Financial Management, Department of Internal Services, or other designee.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, March 5th, 2020 wire transfers for health benefits as presented by the County Auditor and reviewed by the Board of Commissioners, Department of Budget and Financial Management, Department of Internal Services, or other designee.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, March 5th, 2020 journal vouchers as presented by the County Auditor and reviewed by the Board of Commissioners, Department of Budget and Financial Management, Department of Internal Services, or other designee.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, March 5th, 2020 then and now certification as presented by the County Auditor and reviewed by the Board of Commissioners, Department of Budget and Financial Management, Department of Internal Services, or other designee.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Well, there's a non-general fund budget amendment. The two biggest items are a $240,000 decrease within a project fund for Mickey. Again, this is just adjusting this year's actuals to what actually happened last year. The project's still proceeding and everything is normal. It's just they happened to spend some of that money last year, so this is bringing down the appropriation from this year. And the other big item is the $200,000 increase within the health benefits cafeteria fund, and that's the dental contract that we need to get covered.
Do we have copies of that? Do you usually have, no, we don't?
Which,
It's this one.
No, we don't.
It was in like a packet.
so we should have had, I can bring
It
it.
was after the JFS.
It's with JFS? No. I didn't have that one. Okay, well, I know you always give us this, so. Okay.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners agrees to amend the non-general fund 2020 annual appropriation resolution 19-0948 adopted December 19th, 2019.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Now, there is a journal entry for the federal equitable sharing report from the sheriff. We got this from Ron on Tuesday, and so rushed it onto the agenda. There was an error in the report that I found. Ron has fixed that. So I have a copy of the corrected report. This is the version that will actually need signed and sent to the sheriff for submitting. I'm not sure where the other version is, but it should be destroyed when we find it. So this would be the copy.
Now, are we gonna
that
be able
needs
to tell the
signed.
difference on if it
There's
shows up?
a, yeah, this one has a $7,000 expenditure, whereas the other one only lists a $2,000 expenditure. So this is the corrected report.
Yeah. Is this the second entry listed?
Okay, so we have, let's do the first one. Journal entry, the Board of Commissioners approves the February 2020 adjustments to the Portage County Water, Portage County Sewer, and Streetsboro Sewer billing accounts as reported on the adjustment report submitted and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
And this is our monthly adjustments. It was recommended by the auditor, state auditors, 2 years ago that you do this monthly. We make these adjustments throughout the month based on your policy and procedures. If there's anything not within those policies and procedures, we bring them as a separate journal entry, but this is just you codifying that indeed these adjustments agree with the policies that are currently in place.
Okay.
And they are all in line with what your policies currently expect.
Okay.
So roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners authorizes the submission of the U.S. Department of Justice and U.S. Department of Treasury Federal Annual Certification Report detailing the summary of equitable sharing activity of Portage County Sheriff's Office Justice Funds at the end of 2019 as presented by the Portage County Sheriff. Documents reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management with no exceptions noted.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Kathleen, I'm going to give that to you because you're the signatory.
Okay. Do you want to stay here? When do we intend to have the Board of Elections?
It was 9:15.
9:15, okay. Well, what, can we do this resolution on the, I'll let Board of Election charge back. Talk about that now. You stay here and you guys wait until. No, stay. Do we have that?
You must have been, I got two, so maybe I got
Oh,
yours.
okay.
She probably has your budget amendment.
You know what, maybe so.
I'll look and see.
Oh, that's okay, I got a copy now.
Okay, so,
Can you guys just walk, this is a kind of confusing sounding resolution,
so.
especially the second whereas.
Yeah, it was approved, it was never created.
Yes,
That was-
yes. So in November of 2018, the commissioners approved the establishment of an elections revenue fund for the Board of Elections, and it's, the money is to be used for limited purposes. At the time that that resolution was passed by the commissioners, there was no fund, no account that was attached to that fund where the money would go. So that's, and we were unaware that that was a necessity. And recently discovered that it, in fact, it is a necessity, so that's why it's here. It's just, all we're doing is creating an account where the money will go that will fund what was done in November of 2018.
Okay. Todd, you?
I have the same recommendation I had a few weeks ago. This is the same resolution that's come back. I did not get a chance to talk with Chris. He's been busy and I've been busy the last couple of days. But my recommendation is that we amend the original resolution rather than creating a new one. I have not written that amendment yet. If the board wanted to proceed with this today, it can. Or we can bring the amendment forward next week.
Was there a problem with receiving money for 19 if we did that? Because I asked that question.
There was not.
Well, potentially there is, if you're
There is not.
amending, if you're amending the motion, then you're essentially making this other one be secondary. I mean, if we have assurances that the money that was collected for 2019 will in fact go into this fund, we're okay with an amendment.
Every year, the board is required to transfer that money independently based upon what it feels it is transferring. So that has no effect upon the passage of this at any given time.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you just use every time we talk about this.
I don't understand what you just said.
The way the statute reads, the chargebacks will be placed in the general fund and then the commissioners transfer it to this equity fund. And so that still has to happen this year, regardless of when you pass this. And passing this has no effect upon your ability to pass that resolution. So there is no issue with it. You can do it today, it's just we'll always have the two resolutions that we constantly need to refer to. The benefit of the amendment is you have it all nice in one place. But it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. You're accomplishing the same thing.
My understanding is that this was self-effectuating,
Okay.
that we didn't need to come to the
Yes.
commissioners.
I don't believe that's the case, but it
Because-
has not yet played out, so we're gonna have to wait and see. My understanding is a transfer resolution will come every year.
Okay, to transfer it from the general fund to the special fund.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gonna be a resolution every year?
Right, because the law specifies that it will be transferred by the commissioners, which means transferred by the
Because it all
commissioners.
comes into us and then we transfer it.
Yeah. Again, it's, in the end, it's all the same.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if the commissioners are in a position where they say, no, you can't have this money, I think that's in violation of what the resolution has been set up to do.
But we've agreed to the resolution, so I don't know why.
We just didn't have. an
Weird
account.
things happen
Yeah.
every day.
That's the only thing.
I mean, you all aren't gonna be here forever.
And in order to dissolve the fund, we'd also have to have your board support in order, it has to be a mutual thing. So I
Right.
think we'd be okay. I mean, come in and,
The idea behind it is, again, I think the logic is, if you have enough in the fund,
yeah.
then you don't need to keep piling money in. And so every year it's reviewed by the commission.
Presumably with the Board of Elections being part of that conversation, because we would be the best people to know what amount of money we will need to have in case we need to purchase new equipment of whatever variety.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a joint.
I would assume.
That's
I
our
mean,
assumption.
this is all sort of new territory.
Or can always seek the advice that it wants at the time. The key is whether you're gonna pass this creation fund today or wait for an amendment. Again, I would prefer the amendment, but you're welcome to act on whichever you want.
You're just saying the amendment because it just puts it all in one document versus
Right.
future boards may have to, which makes sense,
Yeah.
but, so
And
you.
this will probably get amended in the future, which means it's nice just to have one place, and then as it proceeds, you always have that one place for people to look later.
Why would it be amended in the future?
I don't know if it will or it won't, that's up to the board at the time to amend it.
Okay.
Well, so we've been waiting for, I don't even know when I first did this, probably a month to get this going, because the money is already there. We'd like to have this resolved. And
Do you have
so-
a current
Are
use
we-
for some
yeah,
of
are
the
we
funds
holding up
now?
a purchase?
We do not have a current use, but because of the way this is proceeded, we're a little bit nervous about, how this is proceeded, and we wanna make sure that the money is where it needs to be as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
We've agreed that the money
Yeah,
will
the
go
money's
here.
gonna go here.
It's
It's just,
this account number right now is all that needs to be done.
Right, and
Yeah.
so, I mean, the resolution refers to the original resolution where it was created. It's incorporated by reference. So I guess my position is we don't need to do an amendment, that the resolution that you have before you is sufficient to accomplish.
So Chris hasn't weighed in on this, is that what you're saying?
No, he has.
Chris has said this is fine. It's a procedural item. I am continuing to advocate that there is no rush on this. We're not holding up purchases. The board is fearful that the money will not show up. The commissioners have told them that it will. So,
Yeah, none of us are leaving in the
I
next
mean,
couple
none
months, I
of,
would
they're,
think.
I would just prefer to see it all in one place, which is what we typically do with our resolutions, so that when, for posterity's sake, people need to refer back, it's right there. It's just easier, it's not necessary. As she pointed out, it does
It's just a
refer to the other
procedural,
resolution, which
right.
means you can go and get the other resolution.
Kathleen, where do you stand on this?
I mean, I feel bad that these guys have
Waited,
come up
yeah.
here over and over, and Todd is saying it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So part of me says, let's just do this today because of get these
Just get
guys
it
on their
done.
way running elections
So we're not
and
doing
not
this.
bothering
But
with
this,
this.
again, I would point, and you're fine to act, but this has not held up any of the Board of Elections business. It has not tied up any of the Board of Elections funds. I just
That
wanna
may
make
be,
that
but we've
very
been
clear.
here 2 or 3 times. And
That was of
we
your
haven't-
choosing, and that's fine. But this has not held up anything regarding the actual operations,
I
purchasing
know
of the
that,
board.
Todd. I
Yeah.
know that
I
their
just wanna make that
time
clear.
and
Well, there's a lot of implications that their worry is things won't happen the way it is, and that's somewhat insulting to myself as your finance director, and I just want to bring that forward.
The money definitely is gonna go to you, it's just, I know.
But you're welcome to pass it as is.
why don't we do that and just get you guys on your way with it? So I'll go ahead and make a motion to create Fund 1092 Board of Elections chargeback.
Second.
Roll call, Amy.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I appreciate your willingness. Thank you all.